Hi everyone, and welcome to Åpent Hus with a WeChat crash course. I will first and foremost welcome Wen Wen, our collaborator on many ways with Music Norway. And this Åpent Hus is presented by Norwegian Arts Abroad to get an insight into the Chinese market's main communication app, WeChat. WeChat's owned by the tech company Tencent, who also owns some of the biggest DSPs for music, at least. And to communicate with Chinese industry or fans, this is like the main app to use. And Wen Wen and Geir from Performing Arts Hub Norway will take us through how to use the app, but also how to navigate in the Chinese market. So Wen Wen, do you want to start with your presentation?
Okay, thanks for the invitation from the Music Norway. And hello everyone, this is Wen Wen from Hermark Culture from China. So I'm very far away from you, but I'm going to introduce a little bit why and how you enter the China market and how you communicate with your Chinese partners. So let's start from this question, why China? Okay, maybe you have heard about this. The China market is huge. And why we say it's very huge, because there are hundreds of millions of new listeners and every year. And as you know, in China, the Western social media and music streaming services are blocked. So we don't have Spotify, we don't have YouTube, we don't have Facebook, we don't have Instagram, we don't even have WhatsApp. But we have our own platforms, like maybe you have heard like QQ Music, Kugou and Kuwo, or NetEase cloud platform. So we have many own inventions from our Chinese companies. And the pandemic has greatly changed the ecology. And in 2020, because we have less physical and offline performances, so naturally we have more online performances and online streamings. So in 2020, the online music platforms such as QQ Music and Kugou or NetEase Cloud Music have stepped into the streaming world, and there are many new labels, and they also work with many musicians. There are many organized and well-promoted high quality online concert brands emerge, like Douyin Live or QQ Music Live. There are many more online performances brands. And in 2020, China remained the 7th largest music market in the world, like last year. But what is different is the government has spent more efforts in protecting the copyright since last year. So the market is growing very healthily since last year. And the numbers of the musicians distributing their songs and music increased really, really good last year. And the number of registered musicians in NetEase Cloud Music has already reached 200,000 in 2020, which is a really big increase. And the income for the musicians from the online streaming platforms also have increased a lot. In 2020, more than 70 of the musicians generated income through the streaming platforms, like QQ Music, like NetEase Cloud Music, and more than 19 earned more than 1,000 Chinese yuan. I mean, this is still a very little money, but it's much better compared with the previous years. And then you can see from the right picture, this is actually the market size chart from a data. And then you can see from 2013 to 2019, the market has kept increasing. And in 2020, there's actually some data, but I didn't put it in because there are many different versions of data. But it's a really, there was a really big increase in 2020 because of the pandemic. And then there are some very important and also interesting findings from a market research by a company called Music Business in China. And they just did a survey covering 3,000 music industry professionals like musicians with producers all over China. So the fundings are like musicians are getting younger. So now the dominant group is Generation Z. So they are very young, and like they are post 90s or even younger. And the musician streaming becomes the the mainstream distribution channel. And around 90 of the musicians have registered the creators account on streaming platforms in 2020, because we don't have the physical gigs, and all of the musicians, they are moving their business to the online streaming platforms. And 70 of the musicians have received digital income in 2020. And also the short video and live streaming earns big bucks, and they just can help musicians earn a lot of money. The annual live streaming income of the musicians can be even more than 100,000 Chinese yuan, which is like 20,000 crowns, really high. And the musicians are willing to reinvest their income and have strong willingness to improve their musical skills. I have talked to some of the Norwegian colleagues. Some of them, they're producing or helping the musicians produce music or songs. And you can see from this new fundings that musicians in China are very passionate about their music career, and they would like to reinvest or improve the quality from their income. Like you can see from this data that 34 of the survey musicians are willing to reinvest more than 50% of their income back into their music career. And there are even some of them willing to spend their money out of their own pockets to increase the quality of their music recordings. And I can see all of this are your chances and opportunities. And there's some data from the 2021 from the Tencent Music Entertainment Group, which is actually the biggest music company in China. So you can see in the 3 months ended in March 31st, the online music paying users only for TME, which is Tencent Music Entertainment Group, the online music paying users reached 60.9 million, so increasing by 42.6% year over year, which is really high. And also the total revenue were like Chinese yuan 7.82 billion, which is around like 2 billion krone, representing an increase of 24% year over year. So you can only see, you can see only from the TME data that in the first 3 months of 2021, the data is really cheering up, very encouraging. So that's why we are a lot of companies all exploring the China market. And also, one thing to mention is even during the pandemic in 2020 and 21, we opened many new theaters all over China. So this is the right one. You can see from the picture. It's a new theater open in Guangzhou. And this one is a theater open in the 4th tier cities called Yangzhou. So there are many, many new theaters opened in 2021 during the pandemic, and now in 2020 and now in 2021. And I know the governments all over China are still investing to build up new theaters, really big, giant theaters. So this is about the grand theaters, and also for the live houses where music festivals like the Modern Sky, maybe you have heard about this company, they are becoming the dominant company organizing the music festivals all over China. So they are kind of like opening music festivals all over China, and they're still increasing very quickly. And now, since the market is really big, and I guess all of the people here are willing to communicate with China. And maybe you also heard about this, Chinese don't reply emails. Why? Because there's better communicative tool, because WeChat is so convenient for the communication. And maybe you will seldomly find Chinese people on emails, but you will always find us on WeChat. This is how we work, very efficient. So why do 1 billion people use WeChat? Because WeChat is more than a messaging. It's not only like WhatsApp. It's WhatsApp, Facebook, and Twitter, YouTube, everything all in one. So this is all do everything application. And there are like official public accounts where you can provide your subscribers news or some articles for them to read, and also mini programs. And there are countless third-party services all within the WeChat application that you don't need to install another application. You just pay or use the applications within WeChat. So the mini programs are really popular now. And also we have WeChat Pay. Maybe Gail will also share a little bit that we can call taxi, we can pay to buy a concert ticket, we can buy a cinema ticket. So it's very convenient to use WeChat to purchase a product. And also we have the language support. There are like localized in 20 different languages, and also we can easily talk to people all over the world. And there are more ways to chat. Now we can test each other and send photos and voice, videos, location sharing, and even more. And we can also create groups like WhatsApp, like up to 500 people members. And also we have moments to share photos and videos or anything we would like to share with the friends. So I'm going to tell one by one, introduce and share with you one by one the functions, the services provided by WeChat. So this is messaging, and what is good for messaging is actually we have the translation button. So now you can see a sample here. Like if somebody or Chinese partner talk to you in Chinese, but you can just very quickly find a button, translate, and then you can have the English or even Norwegian. So, and even though, I mean, you talk to your partner in using English, and the Chinese partner can easily translate what you say into Chinese as well. So they really help to communicate very smoothly with each other. There's no linguistic barrier. And then like what I said, the WeChat is really, we have many groups for arts professionals, and Gail also is in some of the groups. There are many. So the left one, you can see this group is kind of organized by the Shanghai International Festival. So you can see their members are up to 500. So people are putting what they have, their gigs or their services, their news into the groups. So there's very busy group. People are sharing what they have every day. This is really kind of public squares for us to learn about each other. And the red one, it's a WeChat group organized by the WeChat video channel team. So this is where the musicians can share their videos, their creations, short videos. And then the person in charge of the group will help each of the video increase their media exposure generally on WeChat video channels. So this is really good. And if you have time, you can join more groups to be active, and then people will get to know you. And also, as I said, we can share photos on WeChat. And this is something we did for Bergen International Festival, because people now in China, everybody is using smartphones and mobile phones. So that's why we do all of the marketing on the smartphones. And also this is actually our flyer and our poster. So we don't print out poster anymore. We just design the very long posters to write all of the selling points on it, and also the introduction and biography of the artist, and then send it in different groups of WeChat, and then people can see the very long flyers virtually, not physically. So yeah, and sorry. Next one, one more. And yeah, this is another concert from the Bergen International Festival. So we designed many long flyers so it's very convenient for people to share within the WeChat groups, and also for us to spread up the news. And then you can see another service provided by WeChat is public accounts. public accounts, it's like WeChat user can register as a public account, which enables them to push feeds to us subscribers and interact with subscribers and provide them with services and the news. So a user can also create an official account. So you can also create your own. Now you can see a sample from the Norway Munch, from the Munch Museum. They just opened their own public accounts. This year, they're working with a team in Shanghai. So the left picture is about different news articles about what is going on in Munch Museum, and the right one is actually a long post telling people that Munch will open very soon this year. Sorry, next one. Next one, yeah. And then you can also find other companies on public accounts or institutions. Here is the Norwegian National Tourism Board. I don't know how to say the full name, but I mean, it's about tourism, and they are quite popular. They have many followers, and their video accounts are very popular among Chinese. And yeah, and also the Seafood Council, which what is good is since you read an article on WeChat public accounts, you can easily share. You can see from the picture on the right, you can easily share with your friends or share in different groups or even share in your moments. That's why, because all of the marketing functions, services are really well connected with each other. That's why WeChat is not only about, it's not only a communicative tool, it's also a very effective tool in terms of marketing, because people easily share everything, all of the news, all of the ads, from different channels. And also you can also see we can share the videos to friends as well. So this is really convenient for all of us. And yeah, this one is a public account of music business. The one who did the survey is really influential account, telling people about what is going on in the music business. And also you can see Warner and Sony, they're all on WeChat public accounts. And even you can see from the picture, some of the accounts they have invited designers to design their posts. So the poster looks really beautiful from the smartphones. And the moments, moments, it's actually very private. It's for friends updates. So moment is an interactive platform that allows users to post images, text, or short videos. And also sometimes we can share, if you like, you can also share music from QQ Music or other streaming platforms, which is really convenient. And there's some posts from my friend circle, from my moments. So, but all of the contents it's about Norway. So the first one, the left picture, I share something about Bergen, and then people give me a lot of likes here. And the second one, I share music from QQ Music. And then people also can hear very easily open the music recordings from WeChat moments. And and then some posts or some videos. So the WeChat moments, it's where we can share everything by any format. It's really convenient. But this moment is private. Only the friends of you can see your updates. The strangers, actually, they cannot see. And then this is a new function, that also send it to many Norwegian artists, or like Geir, we have already our own WeChat account, a video account. So this is a new service provided by WeChat since last year, because the short video application is one of the largest digital phenomena in 2022. And now we have the TikTok, and we have many other short video platforms, and then WeChat video channel thinks they can do more. That's why they started to explore the market for this new service. And you can see from Oh, this is a WeChat video account of Norway National Tourism Board. They just post short videos and they got a lot of likes from people. And yeah, it's very convenient to see the videos from the smartphones. And also, yeah, you can see the left picture. There are like, this is the channels, means the video channels. If you want to post something, you just press the channel step button, and then you will go to the red picture is where you can publish your own videos. So people, according to the third-party research, the Chinese short video application industry will reach Chinese yuan 200 billion by 2021, which is around 40 billion crowns. I mean, the Chinese short video application is really a shining new market for all of the technology players. Yeah, and this is something I would like to say, and also Gail will maybe share a little bit. This is, we had an open call, so, and also we selected some of the artists, Norwegian artists, independent dancers and dance groups or theater companies, and then we selected short videos where some really high quality pictures from them, and then we edited all of the material that we have into the short videos. And then you can see there are many supports from the Chinese audience, and we got a lot of likes for what we did in the past few months. And this is actually the video channel account for Performing Arts Performing Arts Hub Norway. And I guess it would be, we would say it's a very successful try. And I hope that we can continue, because this is a really effective tool for Chinese people, no matter professionals or audience, to get to know about the Norwegian artists. Yeah, and also this is what we did with Bergen International Festival, and because we work with Tencent Art, so this is the Tencent Art WeChat account, share some of the videos on their own video channel. Sorry, again. Yeah, and also WeChat video channel, now we have live stream service. And this is Talje Isonset, also a Norwegian musician who makes instruments by us, and he happened to have a live stream in this March, and then we organized another live stream for him on the Chinese on the WeChat video channel, and it was quite popular at that time. Now what is different is you can charge money, you can charge tickets if you want to do the live stream on the WeChat video channel, which it's a new news for the musicians. If you want to live stream something in Norway to Chinese audience, you can just charge a little bit. I mean, as the ticketing income. Yeah, I mean, those are the basic functions of video of WeChat. And my suggestion is, don't hesitate to download the WeChat from whatever Apple Store or Google Play, and then sign in by using your own mobile phone. And then you can start your journey with chatting with the Chinese friends, because you can always find your Chinese partners on WeChat, but not maybe every day on emails. And thank you. This is so far my sharing. Thank you very much. And you can add me if you have WeChat working. Thank you.
So should we invite Geir into the conversation now?
Yeah, sure. Oh, thank you, Wen. It was really nice to just see all your slides. It looks really beautiful. Just say that. So my name is Geir. I work for Performing Arts Hub Norway, a similar organization as Music Norway, as a lot of you know. And I just want to say that getting to know WeChat has been like a mind-blowing experience for me, just on so many levels. And I started with using WeChat in 2017, actually. And prior to that, I used Kakao in Korea and Line in Japan. They also have their own channels or how to communicate. And I just wanted to point out that actually WeChat Pay that Wen Wen talked about is already on Hurtigruta here in Norway. So you can pay with that app actually already in Norway. So just letting you know. Another thing I also want to say, as Ben said about this email, never get a reply from your Chinese colleagues. For 2 years, I copied my emails over to WeChat to keep the email log to myself, to feel comfortable and keep my system, and then just copy it over. It kind of works. So I kind of have the log conversation, and then I actually copied the reply from some of my Chinese colleagues over to my own email and resent it, just to have my normal system up. So I just want to say that it's, you do whatever works for you. What more can I? Also, one thing that's been a really great experience the last 14 months, I would say, is that I actually just realized that the Chinese audience, they watch Beyonce for a 90-minute show on their phone. They watch shows, I mean, full concerts, full theater, dark theater plays on their phones, not on a computer, not on a widescreen, just on their phone. So that's a little bit of it was quite interesting to actually understand that that's so common. So we have something to learn from that, or actually be aware of it. And another thing I also would say that been experienced the last 14 months the same is that it's all about the audience, because the big festivals and theaters in China, which have directors that are 60 plus, don't speak English, they have young staff. They are watching what people are watching on WeChat, like audience. They're looking for audience. What are people up to? So when we're thinking about how to market Norwegian artists in China, we need to be aware of that's the way to do it, because someone is tracking what people are clicking on. And that's when the big festivals and the big theaters in China will book you. Sometimes we are so eager to present our work to the festival director, blah, 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 blah. No, don't do that. Get in contact with these young people that works at the festivals and at the theaters and at the venues, because they are the ones tracking what works and what the audience are up to. That's also been a super experience. So, and I could just say from my experience with the WeChat channel, because since we work with performing arts, so it's mostly dance and theater, and we did an open call, and then we made these 90-second videos on this WeChat channel. I mean, some of these artists have been touring the world for many years, but they get like 12,000 views on a video within 4 hours. So it's a little bit mind-blowing how they can put their work out there and actually reach the audience. And we already saw results after 3 months that some of the artists were contacted by these festivals, theaters, and venues in China that actually have understood that, oh, the audience likes this. And then you have the contact. So it's a great tool. And I think for I think some, just to keep it basic, a lot of people have problems just having the account open and get it open. You know, you need to be logged in, and sometimes there are some issues. Don't be afraid of asking whoever. And if you have a Chinese friend living in London or in LA or wherever, ask them. They can help you. Don't give up. Even though some people in the picture here still have problems with WeChat, and ask questions and don't be afraid to use, because everybody wants to try and help, and sometimes it's a little bit tricky to get it reopened. So what more can I say? There's a lot to be said about how it works, but I think for me it's better if people have questions. It's easier from your perspective what you like or what you need. I don't know what you say. When did I forget something?
Can I add one more point? Like some of the Norwegian musicians are asking me if I could introduce some of my contacts in China. I'm really willing to do so, but I just cannot find their emails because we don't read emails in China. So the only way I can introduce my Chinese colleagues to your Norwegian musicians is through WeChat. That's why I would like to say, I mean, it's really important to open your own your WeChat account, and then I just introduce the Chinese contacts to you through WeChat. So this is
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could also add one thing that I also realized, because since I've been going with these trade missions to China with Norwegian performing arts agents, producers, etc., the last 3 years, is that we also started using that platform to communicate with programmers both in Australia and in New Zealand, even in Thailand and Korea and Japan even. So that's where we communicate and keep the conversation. We met at the China Spa Forum at the Kappa in Beijing, and then that's where we now communicate, you know. So it's also a way to keep connected to that region of the world, because they are on it, and that's the stuff they use to communicate. So it's also a great way to communicate with other markets in Asia.
Great.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe you can say something about how you collaborated with Hermark and Performing Arts Hub Norway to
Yeah.
build up the presence on WeChat, and also like how you can work with local companies or local industry people to get like the language and, you know, the writing right.
Sure. No, I mean, what we did now in COVID time, I mean, since we're not able to travel, you know, we thought, how can we still keep promoting Norwegian performing arts to the Chinese market? So we, as Wen said earlier, we did an open call, and I wasn't sure if Norwegian artists were willing to give content to put it on a platform, but as long as we did the open call, and then some artists applied with short videos, which they were giving us to use. And then Wen Wen and her team in Hermark picked the ones they saw most suited for a potential market. And then her team reorganized the videos in short snippets of, was it 90 seconds, I think? And also put on a lot of Chinese text on top of the picture, which is totally strange for us, but it works there in the market. For me, it looks really, I didn't like it. I was like, what? But when we started publishing them and I see that they work, I was like, oh yeah, this is what they like. And so basically you need a partner in China to help you with this. And something I've learned from my colleagues in Canada, there are a lot of Chinese that lives in Canada, so they have them in Canada and can promote on WeChat. But Norway is tiny country. I think if you want to try and promote yourself to the Chinese market, you need someone understanding the market and on the ground to help you. And it's a little bit of a trust, because I mean, the text and the videos is something we send on behalf of the artist, and then Hermark and Wen, and they reshape them so they fit to the WeChat channel. And then I'm actually the one publishing it, because the one that owns the account needs to publish it. And I also talked to Visit Norway, which Wen Wen talked about calling it Norwegian Tourist Board. They do the same. So they have a Chinese partner, but still is Evgenia at Visit Norway here in Oslo that actually posts it on the official account. So you need a partner. And for me, working with it, I've used the Norwegian consulate in Shanghai and the Norwegian embassy in Beijing as help to see if the text makes sense. And I would suggest all of you to make contact with the Norwegian consulates and embassies in China if you are to do a campaign, because they are super helpful and will help you kind of be the intermediate between your partner there, and just to make sure that you're not publishing something wrong or that you will regret or blah blah blah, you know. So yeah, and I think yeah, it's a great way to just promote. But I will say one thing as well, because you need to be clear that this is promotion. So if you do this, what we did with the WeChat channel, it's promotion. And at one point you need to stop and say, okay, promotion is over. Now I want to sell. So, because if not, you will be dragged onto a really long promotion campaign. And at one point you need to be aware or strict about yourself that now I promoted enough. Now I want to make some sales. And sometimes that's difficult in the conversation with the Chinese market, because they would like for you to promote more and more and more and more and more and more. But from our perspective, it's a little bit, sometimes you need to stop and say, okay, at this end, this is how long I will go. Now we need to see some invitations or some contracts on actually making a sale. So that's something I've learned from this last year, I must say. Did I answer you, Helena? Or?
Can I just respond a little bit? Yeah, I mean, one thing about the marketing, because the frequency in China, whatever the musicians or dancers, whatever, the celebrities, they just interact very frequently with their fans or with the arts audience. That's why a basic requirement of the frequency of the marketing, it's a must to promote or to be known by the Chinese market or audience. I totally understand this is different mentality, maybe in Norway and what we do in China. Because, like, I mean, for example, in China, if I'm a musician, I interact a lot with all of my fans on Weibo or on WeChat, but I don't earn money from this platform. I just earn money from the other occasions with events. But to keep the basic interaction or the exposure, this is really important, because there are so many people in China. There are so many talents, international talents coming to the China market, and if people cannot see you, that means there's no chance to get to sell your products or services. So that's something I have been talking to you or Music Norway, the other colleague, that the basic exposure in the market is really essential to enter this market. And yeah, as I said, like the WeChat video channel that you can do the live stream by ticketing to sell the tickets to the audience. Actually, the platforms themselves, they are thinking about how to generate income for the users. They're thinking at the same time. So just keep just keep growing with the platform, and maybe you will find more chances also generating from the ideas of the platform staffs. Yeah. And another thing is, I think WeChat is good because sometimes when the Norwegian artists or musicians talk to Chinese partners, they have pictures and videos and texts, or maybe a long email or many pages or PDF file. But now if you have the WeChat video account, some posts or articles introduced about you, you can easily share the articles with the video, the short videos with the Chinese partners, so that the Chinese partner can open the links and read about you very quickly. So I think this is very important, because if we just send Chinese partners the long articles, they don't have the patience to read it. But if you share the videos or the articles published by the WeChat public accounts, maybe they will spend very quickly and learn very quickly who you are. So this is very helpful from my experience.
I have one more question, if that's okay. I was just wondering about advertising on WeChat. How does that work? Like for YouTube and others, you know, you can advertise towards like certain groups or geographically. How does that work with WeChat? How can you optimize to get more views and more followers?
There are actually several ways to do the advertising in WeChat. You can just directly buy advertising provided by Tencent, this company, but it's usually super expensive. Maybe one post showing in the friend circle now maybe around 1 million krone. I'm not kidding you. This is very expensive. So if you want to just publish an advertise in friend circle that maybe all of your target groups can see the ads, super expensive. That's why we choose another way to help the musicians or artists to increase their exposure, is to publish the articles or just find people to interview, whatever, to report by the media KOLs, because there are many influential public accounts, whatever, on the WeChat official accounts or video accounts. There are many. I think the Norway Performing Arts Hub is growing up, so maybe you can be a KOL one day. So, and then people will go to these KOLs and then pay a certain fee, ranging maybe from 1,000 to 10,000 or 100,000 RMB. So the prices are really different based on how many readers they have, how many followers they have. So usually we choose very carefully based on our understanding about the market, who are the best KOLs can help, who are the right KOLs who can help the Norwegian musicians or artists spread out their artworks, work productions. And then we just talk to all of the KOLs and then publish some of the articles. Yeah, I mean, the traditional news agencies that don't really work well in China. Now the KOLs are really influential in the advertising market.
So KOLs as in influencers, right?
Yeah, influencers. Yeah, and there are like one very famous Norwegian. He has more than 10 million followers in China on TikTok and also on WeChat, and he is just cooking Chinese food every day in Norway, and he's getting super popular. More than 10 million, yeah, followers all over China.
So find your niche then.
Yeah. I mean, even I noticed maybe your foreign affairs even came to him and asked him to publish something about the Winter Olympics that maybe Norway will win or something like that. Yeah, but I mean, so because he's getting so famous, that influencer, so he's charging people to pay him to make some short videos or publish something. Yeah, from the content providers. So this is what we do to find a niche market, and which I think is really important. But the other thing is, I think which is good for what we do for the Norwegian musicians or artists is now if you publish something on articles or WeChat video channels, they're not only targeting the professionals, they're also targeting the general public. So you're targeting both the community, both the audience, the professional communities, and also the general public. I think this is really good. Yeah.
I just want to add that don't underestimate how important it is to translate, because I think we all think that everything is English now. You know, I mean, we're going that direction, but I think we need to rethink about translation, because it's so powerful. As I said previously, that the Chinese text on top of the picture of these great Norwegian dance performances, there's something about telling the story in the language you're trying to promote yourself in. That's also been a really strange experience this past 14 months, that we need to actually translate more to transform and tell the story about what we want to promote, not the other way around, because we going digital, blah, 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 everything. It's almost like we think that's AKA everybody has English, but for me, it's almost opposite. We need to rethink it. And I would advise everyone to use more on translation of what you want to promote. I think that's super important to really get the story told. Would you agree, Wen, that it's important with translation of text?
Yeah, and even with Chinese, we need translators, because I don't really understand what the younger generations are talking about. They have so many their own language. That's why we need to hire younger and younger staff working for us, so that they can use their own language to market the artists. And yeah, you're totally right. And for public for the promotion of our, the previous artists, we have used some like a Generation Z language. It's not only about, I mean, the language we use, official language Chinese we are talking every day is some really internet language is something even for me I don't understand, and ask my younger stuff what does it mean. So they explain to me this is really important to work with the young people. They always know how to target or how to market the younger generation, which is the real arts consumers in China. Yeah.
And also the hashtag names in China are totally weird. I don't understand any of them. It's super weird, but you need someone that understands. They see what you try to promote, and then they find the correct hashtags. And you know, for me, when I do push the translation button, they don't make any sense to the video I see, but you know, to the audience you're directed at, it works actually. And that's so more translation, and that's it feels stupid to say it because you thought it would be the other round when we now are so digital, but actually it's important because some of the translation, as you said also, Ben, that even you don't have the Chinese language to tell what that type of audience would like. That says it all, you know. So it's important. And also I would say that one experience I have working with Chinese living and working in China versus working with Chinese living in the US, Canada, or UK, I prefer working with someone living on the ground in China. That's also would be an advice, because there is some extra you get from that. I don't know how to say it, but some of the communication I've had with partners that don't live, it makes it a little bit more tricky. So I would, if you had the possibility, if you need a partner, I would look for one on ground in China. That's my advice.
So how to find that partner if you're not lucky to have, you know, a Chinese friend that can help you out? Who can guide you to find a person that can work with you even before you're ready to spend a lot of money making a big campaign? You might this might want to, you know, just like try it out and see and let it grow for a little while. Like where do you find the right person? I have
two advice. Music Norway has a really great roadmap on how to find China, so that's one. And Performing Arts Hub Norway, aka us, will have a roadmap out next week, actually made by Wen Wen. So the roadmaps to Music Norway and Performing Arts Hub Norway is 2 ways to go. Other than that, I would suggest you they have so many great festivals and so many crazy venues. So if you can go on a field trip to China, I would definitely recommend.
Is there any questions for the participants here, or someone that, you know, would like to talk about their experiences with, you know, communicating and using WeChat as a platform? No?
Can I add one point? I mean, to find, oh, sorry, there are 2 more questions. And we're using Chinese to, sorry, can I answer the questions first?
Yeah.
How can we set up our own public account? Is it still possible through a Chinese partner? Yeah, actually you can set up your own video, public account, even though you're not in China. It is possible. If you go to Google and search, it's a website called WeChat Wiki, something like that, and then you will search. They will help you or guide you how to open your own public account, and it's not very difficult. But for the verification, maybe you need to provide a lot of documents for the verification, and also for the video channel. Now actually the video channel, because as I said, they just opened last year and they just start to do real business from this year. So they are attracting more people to open their own video channel account. And also they can help with the media exposure, because if you post something on your own video channel, maybe the video channel, the backup, the backstage staffs will help you increase the media exposure for your videos. And yeah, I mean, you can also open your video channel if you have a WeChat account. I will also send you maybe a document from the WeChat video team that they introduced a little bit about their video channel services and how to open your own video channel and how to verify. But I guess because this is a new service, I know they have a headquarters in Guangzhou. They are also exploring how to make it more international, but I guess they are learning very quickly. And this is a very, very good way. If you can post what you post on Instagram or whatever, Facebook, the short videos or something, even the pictures together at the same time, spontaneously on WeChat video channel, I think it will really help you build up your own audience. And maybe later you can have your own fans. Yeah. And something to respond Helena's questions, I think to find the right Chinese partner is to know as many possible as the Chinese partners. That's why I would suggest all of you to open your own WeChat account. Then we can be in a big group, and then maybe I can introduce some of my contacts in the group, and then maybe the contacts will just put more contacts in the group, so it can be a really big pool for knowing the potential partners, because each body has their own special area. So if my advice is we open our own, set up our own Norway, China WeChat group chat, that we can know more partners, and then gradually, you will have more chances to find the right partner working in China. Okay.
So we talked quite a lot about, what to do and best practice and stuff on WeChat. So maybe you should also mention what not to do, what is not smart to do there, and what doesn't work, and like how to act basically digitally on the app.
The question for me? Okay, I think Geir is going to talk about something like the censorship or something. Yeah, I'm not sure, because for us, we cannot live without WeChat, but I think there are some concerns from the overseas colleagues about using the WeChat, something you cannot do. Yeah, or some
more about like how many posts, like can you overpost, like if there's things that doesn't work and that can come across as more annoying, or that you actually are working towards your against your purpose.
Oh, you mean post too many posts?
Yeah, or what kind of post doesn't work? Like if there's, or it's like a personal tone in there. I mean, how can you structure your, how shouldn't, what you shouldn't do? Like on Facebook, if you post a lot of personal things in between your business things, or do you keep that separate, or is there any, do's and don'ts? So I'm looking for the don'ts, basically.
Okay. I mean, the only don'ts from me is don't put anything on it. Just keep posting, even though it's your personal life, because like China is very different from Western culture. I mean, the Chinese culture, we just, especially when we had WeChat, our personal life, it's highly overlapped with our business life, and sometimes when a Chinese partner willing to work with you is maybe because he or she learned something about your personal life, not about what you do or about your product. That's why I think WeChat is a really smart product that deeply understand the psychology of Chinese, is actually to overlapping the personal life and the public life. And then when people are getting familiar with each other, we definitely help each other. So this is very Chinese culture. So my only advice is just keep posting and don't waste. I mean, there actually a limit for the public account. Actually, you can only publish one article every day, each day. So there's a limit set up from the platform. You won't annoying people, but you always find one post is not enough. So this is how we do. Yeah. Any advice from you?
No, there was one thing that was, because I've been working with promotion in Norway and following some how we do it here. But what was really interesting to see is that the post that I did on WeChat channel from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. China time. So basically, when we in Norway cook potatoes and eat dinner, that's the time that actually works the best, and that's the young people that Wen works with. They said, no, 4 p.m. China time till 7 p.m. China time is the best time to post, because that's when the kids are on their phones. So it was really, because that timing is not, I've never had that as the best time to promote anything that time in Europe. So it was interesting to see that that's when the likes and the views actually were the highest. So that's, and when it comes to, you said that what don'ts, I mean, I've been testing a lot of posts, both on my private channel, to other friends, and also on my moments, which is the personal one. And yeah, I'm quite open-minded, and I feel I post a lot of weird stuff, but I've never had actually like this censorship feeling so far. So, so I mean, don't be afraid of trying and testing and seeing how it works. I've heard some people that have been blocked, but they've been blocked for other reasons. So, but the don'ts. I think it changes so quickly. So even WeChat, the last year has, the applications and all these mini programs has changed a lot. So I think there's a lot to come. So yeah, the don'ts. I don't feel there is that many don'ts. You can post much more than you do on all the other platforms here. That's for sure. So don't be afraid of posting double. And also, if you post on the on the WeChat channel, if you have posted something and you say, oh, that was wrong, you want to delete it, don't delete it. Keep it and post it again, the same one with the right tag or whatever. Never delete. I learned. So if you because on Instagram or Facebook, we always just delete and put it out again with the right hashtag or blah blah blah. But on the channel, just post it again with the right. That's also something I learned. I don't know if it's correct, but I just saw it worked.
Yeah, great.
Everyone feel free to jump in with a question either on camera or in the chat.
I got one new friend from this Zoom meeting on WeChat, Svein.
Yeah. Well, so I guess it was all pretty clear to everyone then. Yeah. But I just also want to remind everyone to go in and have a look at our advisor program. It's on the Music Norway website, where you can actually apply for advisory time with Wen Wen, another very good advisor all across the world. Wen Wen, do you want to have anything that you want to say? We have 1 minute left of this session.
Yeah, I have been trying to upload introduction to WeChat video channel, but it failed. So I'm going to send you the file so you can share with the colleagues in Norway. And also, I'm also trying polish or write a little bit about the roadmap to China, because it has changed so much the last 2 years. But now I think it's kind of like finally settled down after the pandemic. And now everybody in China is talking about the post-pandemic possibility or diversity. As we just shared, now people are still very eager to learn the international market, where the cultural products from content from the international musicians work, artists. And I heard the market won't open until middle next year. So we still have 1 year to talk or interact with Chinese audience, which is, I think, the window time. It's the best time for you to build up your audience when all of the others are selling and not really building up, which can really benefit you in the future for your future tours, maybe in 2022 or 3. So let's just take this chance and do more. And thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Wen Wen, and thank you, Geir.
Thank you.
And, yeah, feel free to reach out to us after this this session as well. And this recording will be published at a later point. Yeah, thank you so much. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.